So I got a channeled message, Scorpio, before I'd even got the cards out, which was play the game how it's meant to be played. Okay? And then I had a little bit of thinking about that, because if a Scorpio is playing the game how it's meant to be played, or let's just say towing the line, behaving, doing what other people want to do, it's because they know there's something at the end of it. They're playing the long game. Scorpio is better, as you know, than anybody at playing the long game. But I also, and I'm gonna have a look at some cards first. I also don't know if I like the sound of it or not. I am a fellow water sign, okay? I am all for playing the emotional long game if that's what it takes, and sometimes it does. But Scorpios, you have this little streak of rebellion in you, which us Pisceans can only watch and enjoy, quite honestly. And sometimes fortune favours the brave with you, and I'm just wondering if this is one of these times. That's bloody interesting. Okay, first card I get for you is lightning, and that's what I'm talking about. Just this feeling that I get of disruption. You know, it's time to disrupt. It's time to disrupt a pattern. It's time to disrupt a situation. There will be times in whatever situation you're in, and this reading is for, you know, the new year, for January 2026. But whenever you get this reading, okay, there will be times when towing the line, playing the game would be the right thing to do. But I'm also sensing, and I'm getting a really kind of like a groundswell of pressure that has to go somewhere. And Scorpios, again, you can keep the lid on for a really long time, okay? Probably the longest of all of the other 12, you know, the 12 signs altogether. You can keep the lid on more quietly, more discreetly than anyone else. But at the same time, lid has to blow sometime, and sometimes it's better to do it deliberately than have it blow without your kind of control. So this is lightning. Upheaval, release, cleaning away the old to make space for the new. It can't stay the same. And Scorpios sometimes, and let me know in the comments, because I am fascinated. I learn about Scorpios. My brother's a Scorpio. I watch Scorpios all the time. Little Pisces in the corner. Scorpios doing stuff. I want to know whether you need to be in control of it, or what you do when you feel like there's pressure building. How do you handle that as a Scorpio? As a Pisces, we swim away. La la la, it's not happening, you know. Scorpio's different. You engage more. You've got Mars, I'm sure you have. That card is calling out for me, for you. And that one. You've got 3 of them. Oh my God. And that one, because you've got 4 of these. I meant to get 1. Okay, let's just do it. The Seeker. This is how I see you. It's not, you know, Indiana Jones, everybody look at me, I'm conquering new worlds. It's more, I wonder what goes on here, you know, it's part of my master plan. There is something about the need for your life to expand, the need for almost like every reaction has an equal and opposite. Every action has an equal GCSE D in science. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So let's face it, okay? An action has occurred. A thing, an action, something has happened, and the counterbalance is not happening at the same time. So the reaction, the equal and opposite reaction, is what you're feeling now, but you're feeling it as a tension, and that tension needs to be broken. The lid needs to blow, okay? Whew. Now I get some very, very interesting things. I'm very pleased to see this one. This one, I could see it. I could see that rainbow bit, and it was like, pick me. So I did. Sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. I reserve the right. I'm two fish going in other directions. If I see a peek of a card sometimes, I might say, no, you haven't earned the right to come out. You need to come back out. But other cards, it's like, no, I get you. You're in. So, the Rainbow Keeper. Look at that. Gorgeous. This is about hope, healing and unity. But I think because you're... Am I allowed to say more shadowy as a Scorpio? I don't think it's all bubbles and kisses and whatnot when you're... Look at the top bit where there's a bit of shadow. Yeah. Bit of a canva back shadow there, I do feel. Yes. You have the rainbow. Remember what happens with rainbows. There's a pot of gold at the end, but usually it's a bit of a quest trying to get there, okay? You also have the lightning. So let's just say the weather of your situation is unpredictable, but in some ways you're kind of controlling it as well, okay? So the weather is unpredictable, it's changeable, but you are beginning a journey, okay? I hate that word, but I'm going to use it. You're on a quest. We also get the light worker. Very nice indeed. People forget that about Scorpio. Higher truths and spiritual wisdom. Some of this is a bit... some of this is a bit split, like it was in the Pisces video, weirdly. So there is some connection between you and Pisces. I don't know, I mean, there is anyway, normally I find, but particularly there is. It feels as if as above, so below, but it isn't. So you're dealing with stuff in the 5D, which is the whole thing about higher truths and spiritual wisdom and feeling your way through a storm. But there's also literal things going on in the 3D. You know, whatever's happening, it could be with your job, it could be with relationships. The second half of this reading, I do look at love and relationships. But this is like a whole thing. So it feels as if there's work to be done. It needs a light touch. Some of it is 5D, so your spidey senses are like all the time. And some of it is, I would say, and this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm getting really strongly for you, that if you keep hearing the cat flap, by the way, my cats are crazy. The majority of the action is in the 5D, but there are things that need to be handled in the 3D. And you may be changing things up in the 3D. We've got the nomad. I know, van life's cute, isn't it? Freedom, adventure, exploration. But I also see it as being slightly unsettled, which Scorpio likes and doesn't like. Okay, let's throw some tarot at it. For some reason I'm very attracted to this one for you, so I'm going to go with it. We're going Tarot Nouveau. It's got a slight shadowy darkness to it, that's why. Tell us a bit more about this, please. I'm going to move that one over there so I've got a bit of space on the goddamn table. If it's resonating, Scorpio, please do hype the video. So you hit the like button on your phone, you go ch, and you'll find hype. Okay, if it's really hitting the spots. Get down, please. We have an army of cats in here at the moment. Let's just see how it goes. Anything could happen. Well, that's one gone. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I get this. And I accord. I'm in accordance. First of all, I love this card. 7 of Pentacles. When you get the 7 of Pentacles, this is your 3D stuff. It's always, I mean, this guy, a little bit steampunky, a little bit, you know, I'm just had a glass of absinthe and now I'm going to be inspecting the countryside. But remember, in the Rider-Waite, stuff like that, it's always a farmer leaning on his hoe like this and looking at the field, looking at the fields and contemplating the crop. How's it grown? Should I plant more seeds? Are the seeds growing? Is this worth it? Okay. So you're going to find in January, and it's quite, it's a good month for it anyway, just in terms of calendars, because everything gets a little bit bloated in December, like literally and figuratively and metaphorically and all sorts. And I feel like as we come into January, it's a little bit of a clean up for you. Clean up, clean out, narrow down, finessing things. You could be honing a skill here, and it could be something esoteric, you know, this light worker. So this can be healing, Reiki, talking to others about that, teaching, starting. It's something esoteric though, I think, for a lot of you, but also I'm getting intellects, possibly like university courses, night courses, whatever. So, okay. 7 of Pentacles, getting your ducks in a row on the earth. Very important. I'm also going to say, probably in a work or friend context, important to ask who's on your side. And I mean that in the absolute fundamental water sign sense. Us water signs, and let me know in the comments if you agree, but I think you will. I think we're not very black and white about a lot of things, but when the call comes from the best friend, from the good friend, or even from the friend you haven't seen for 10 years, but you've got that connection, they need something from you. And, you know, it's like that scene, I watched it in a film called The Town, I think it was, with Ben Affleck. And it's like, I'm going to ask you to do something. We can never talk about it again. I'm not going to talk about it now. And, you know, it could get us both in a whole lot of trouble. What do you say? And the other guy just says, we taking your car or mine? You know? It's that kind of, yeah, I'm on my way. So it feels as if you are separating, you've only, right, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting so many downloads for you, Scorpio, that I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Energetically, and this may not be for the whole of 2026, all right, but it is for January, because I'm getting channels of you cleaning up. You know, like you used to do like defrag on a computer, and Scorpios can be so, my brother, oh my God, on the computer, Pisces, right? Files all over the desktop. Files within files within files. It's awful just even for me. My brother's like, well, I've got your files and I've subdivided them. I'm like, but he can do that. Scorpio can do that. Attention to detail. It feels as if you're doing a defrag, a cleanup, a desktop cleanup of your friends, of your life. You've only got the energy for the ride or dies. You haven't got the energy for, you know, normally we've sort of got the ride or dies. I don't know where family fit with this. Sometimes family have to kind of fit in a weird family shelf, because sometimes you can't stand them, sometimes we love them all the time usually, but you know what I mean, they're family, my family and other animals, that kind of thing. So family, I don't know where they fit into this, but in general, everybody is coming to your test of, where do you belong? Are you in the tent with me, or are you outside the tent? Okay. Some people think they're in the tent with you, Scorpio. You know, they're all full of chuffedy because they think they're in the tent with you. And that's where this whole kind of, some of it lightning, some of it 5D, some of it Queen of Cups. You know, Scorpios bloody know, and you don't say anything. But I know that you know, because I watch Scorpios, and I've watched, you know, one of my best friends is a Scorpio, my brother's a Scorpio, his girlfriend's a Scorpio. So I watch, it's making my third eye itch. You are making my third eye itch. I'm going to the cinema after this to see, I don't even know what the film's called. I was going to say Mickey Blue Eyes, but that's like in the 80s. I'm going to have some sort of pink thing here. You Scorpios are working things out, and I can't work out what you've worked out, but I can see that you've worked it out. I could see the light bulb moment or whatever. And you're going to have a lot of those, but you also have hanged man energy. It's going to be a slightly irritating energy because you're going to get the downloads. You're going to know, in some cases, you're going to know which lids to blow. I'm getting a series of pressure cookers, like on MasterChef, you know, and you're going, leave that one, leave that one. You're going to pull the plug on some relationships. You're going to elevate others, but there's not much room in your tent. Okay, there is not much room energetically in your tent. And also, once you've got that info, you're going to expect things to move quickly, and then they won't, which is quite contradictory and annoying, but that's what it is at the moment. Then I get the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles always shows somebody, actually it's not always somebody on their own, because the Rider-Waite, there's two people leaning on each other. Increasingly in more modern decks, it's someone alone. It's Mercury in Taurus, which is your opposite sign. And Mercury in Taurus is quite a bleak aspect. It's kind of meaningful, like it feels like when you're in a graveyard in a church. It's, you know, especially as a water sign, as Scorpio, you know, you rule Pluto death. You understand the stakes are high, and you understand all of this. You're on your own path in lots of ways. Other people are alongside you, but not many of them. And ultimately, you're a nomad, traveling the world, spirit in a human body. Okay? I know, if you thought this was just going to be glitter and unicorns today, it's not. It's good though, isn't it? I like it. I like it for you. I'm just going to take you a Starborn Oracle, and it's definitely that. What is that? I haven't even got my reading glasses on and I'm still doing it. You get the golden aura. Yes. Your aura glows with golden radiance. Your presence heals and uplifts all of those that cross your path. But it doesn't mean you heal everyone that crosses your path. There isn't room for everybody in the healing tent. Okay? It does mean, as you come into 2026 in January, I think you've got quite a lot of magnetism. Speaking of which, shall we do a little bit of love and relationships? You've got magnetism. You will draw people towards you, but they shouldn't all get in. Yeah, think of it as, you know, you're on a road trip. Not everyone can fit in the van. By the way, if you've ever considered a road trip or van life or anything like that, I'm getting a lot of that for you, and I never get that. Certainly I could never do that. Yeah, 100%. Okay, love, relationships and all that jazz. Oh my God. It's always spicy when it's you lot, isn't it? I do always do an extended love reading, and I'm going to do a special one for you this time, which I've never, especially with those two bloody cards next to each other. I'm going to do you a triple threat, you and me side by side. So it's like you and them. I'm going to use the same deck for you. I've got another of the same deck for them. And then I've got a third of the, I've got 3 versions of the same deck. And that's going down the middle as a bridge. That's the extended. I already know that. Never done it before. Premiere for Scorpio. Right. Fork. Right, I want one more. Your cards are... It's a lot. For some reason I want that one, but I don't like the feel of it. No, bloody hell, Scorpio. Right. Okay. You got 4 major arcanas there on the bounce. Let's deal with the minors, and then we'll have the 4 majors that are all, frankly, quite hot. 6 of Swords, getting out of dodge, moving forward. Maybe it's not a van, maybe it's a boat, okay? Get in the boat. Only so many people can fit in the boat. When it comes to your relationships, who do you want rowing the boat? Okay? Who's rowing the boat? Because you're certainly on your way somewhere. Now, the Six of Swords is interesting because it can be an escape. So it can be peace after a time of difficulty. So you'll know if that's you. It's not always easy because you're in stormy seas when you're in the Six of Swords, but you're trying to get to the calmer waters. It comes up, it looks like the house out of Stranger Things, doesn't it? I know, which is a bit weird. Four of Wands, this is very nice. It's mysterious and you're kind of heading for it. This is the house that you never knew. What does that mean? I'm not going to be too tired to watch this film. This is the house you never knew. Okay. But it's waiting for you in terms of relationships. So if the house represents a relationship, a soft place to land, somewhere to call home, it exists. But let's just look at these other four cards, because what on earth, Scorpio? What on earth? The Devil. Start off with the Devil. Cripes. Yeah. And you've got the Emperor. It's a fine line in your relationships at the moment. It's a fine line between control and confusion and cooperation. And oh my God, some of you have got a tangling, like an attachment with somebody. In the 5D, certainly, which is weird in the 3D. For some reason. The Devil, the Emperor. Temptation is in there as well. It's smoking hot, whatever this is. Yeah. I mean, Pluto is an interesting ruler, isn't it? Mars and Pluto. This is exactly that. This could be too hot to handle. Or you may be able to make it work, but it's edgy. This is edgy. Edgy. The Devil is not always a bad card. I mean, no tarot card is good or bad in 100% sense. The Devil's not coming up with a load of difficult, sneaky sword cards. So I don't feel quite as reticent. But you could be working against yourself a bit. You need to keep an eye on yourself in this connection. You are the most disciplined sign that I know. But there are times in love relationships when a Scorpio, if you imagine, and this is quite Scorpionic, that discipline is a corset with strings. Scorpio is quite upright, tied in, disciplined. If they want to do something, they're going to get there. Okay, it might be slow, might be fast, but they're going to get there. There comes a point, no, it's not even gradual. This is like I'm getting the whole corset just goes pff, like the lid's going to blow, the corset's going to blow. Not that anyone's wearing a corset, but you know what I mean. It's quite hot, but it's unleashing a lot at the same time. It's like, da-da! So there's a tension within a connection of sorts, whether it's full connection, a situationship, or a God knows what in the middle of it. And I have a feeling it might be a God knows what in the middle of it. Could be an ex, could be a future. I don't know. It doesn't matter almost. It's this very much, here it is, tighten the corset, boom, psh. The lovers. The lovers. The lovers. Boom, boom, boom. Do, 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 boom, boom. I'm just getting that whole really 80s, you know, when a couple used to get together and they hadn't seen each other for a while, or maybe it's like they've just got together. It's like Secret of My Success, Michael J. Fox, you know, when he gets off with the boss's wife and all that. And then when they're going for it, they have that going on. I'm kind of getting that for you. This is like an 80s rom-com romp with a lot of shadowy darkness in the background of it. It's bloody exciting stuff to get the devil, to get the emperor, to get the lovers. Scorpio. But you also get the hermit. Some of you are dealing with somebody who disappears maybe. Or no, it's not that one, it's that one. I don't mind that. 3 of Cups, a thread, a connection. Some of you are semi-friends, not quite lovers. Some of you, it's God knows what in between. There's a roasting hot line, you know, the telephone line will melt like in one of those Athena posters with the whole melting thing, melting red telephone. Red is very prominent, passion is very prominent. There is a house that's waiting for you. A gamble though with this 6 of Swords. Fortune favours the brave in your relationships. Playing it safe will not work well. But at the same time, you know, this is a lot to handle. You're probably the only sign apart from Leo who could handle it. And maybe it is a Leo, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's going to take a lot, and it's going to flip a lot of lids, some of which you would rather have stayed on. But it's like all the lids or none of the lids. You know, there's like a master lid, but then all the lids everywhere in the world pop off and you're like, whoa, can't put that genie back in the bottle. I like it. It's exciting. You're not going to be bored. But I don't even know whether to say be careful because you're a Scorpio. You've worked all that out yourself. I don't feel that I have to say that. Boundaries, it would be good if you had some here. You normally have very good boundaries, but when a Scorpio falls, whether it's love, lust, whatever it is, sometimes all the lace drops out the corset and the boundaries go out the window. That can be a lot of fun. But also for some of you, there's a very 5D mental connection with this person. God. Right, I'm going to go and do your triple threat, you and me side by side, and then the bridge down the middle. 3 different versions of the same tarot deck. So 3 of the same, because I bought one tarot deck 3 times so that I could do this. Okay, the link is below in the description box. I will see you on the other side. Namaste.